Welcome to the Eye of Power podcast. I'm your host, Tom Dardick. But this podcast is not about me. It's about you and your power. It's time to claim yours. Well, here we are in Tampa, Florida, and it's a Christmas jamboree down here, right? We've got, what bird is that?
That's a crow. It's the Christmas finch.
We've got a Christmas crow. We're going to have jets coming over, dogs barking. We're down here in Dardick Land South here now because we got a portion of our family together for the holiday, spending a week down here, and it's a gorgeous day today. It's going to get up to, 75 degrees today, and I'm here while this jet goes over. We're near the airport, I suppose, but I'm here with my kids, and you can meet my kids for the first time on the Eye of Power podcast. Here's Geneva and Jackson Robinette. Geneva's my daughter. Jackson is my son-in-law. Merry Christmas, guys.
Merry Christmas. We're happy to be here. We stay down here where we live in Tampa, and we are so happy that the parents and my brother and my sister-in-law came down to visit. It's a nice sunny Christmas instead of a white Christmas.
Sunny Christmas. And then my son Colin.
So I'm also on vacation mode right now. Traveled down as well from Pennsylvania, currently in Pittsburgh, so it was interesting travel down, nice and easy, but I like the warm much better than the cold. It was 17 degrees this morning back in Pittsburgh, so this is a great improvement.
And your wife Taylor's here today, but she and her parents
and her grandfather, they're
live
out
down here.
Mm-hmm.
Grandfather lives down here, and they've got other family down here.
They are out doing some last-minute shopping, I believe, and getting some things in order.
And my wife Kathleen is in working. She's not going to be on this podcast, apparently. We won't bother her right now. But so this is obviously not a typical Eye of Power podcast episode. I thought today, for our last episode of the year, we would just simply take the time to maybe look at what we liked about 2024 and what we're looking forward to in 2025. So I'm going to let Colin, you went last, so why don't you start as to what you liked about 2024, and then you can segue into what you want to talk about for what you're looking forward to in 2025.
2024 was a very eventful year for me. Started the year January 8th with a new job working at a bioresearch lab in Pittsburgh called Castle Biosciences. Very good friend of mine has worked there, and he had mentioned that they were hiring, and I did not like working in the electrical field. So I applied and got in, and I've learned quite a bit since I've been there, and I enjoy my job infinitely more than I had been. So that was a really good start of the year. As it went on, started ramping up towards my wedding that was in September.
Woo!
So got married this year as well. New job. And
Pretty big year then.
yeah, it was a very big year for me, very eventful. Lots of traveling this year too. This is my third time here down in Florida. Twice here in Tampa, and then one other time in Miami to go on a honeymoon cruise. So I also went on a honeymoon cruise. Was involved in 2 other weddings. So lots of weddings this year, lots of travel. It's been very eventful, very eventful.
Are you tired?
I'm looking forward to hopefully a calmer year next year.
That's what you said.
Yeah.
2025 looking forward to. You said less of that kind of thing.
Yes, a very peaceful 2025. Maybe only one time we travel.
I would like some more less, please.
Yes.
I'll give you more less.
Yes. So, but yeah, this year's been quite great to me. It's been a good time in the Taylor Collin household.
A real blessed year.
Yes. Been
That's
able to,
awesome.
and still have the freedom and stuff to travel around and visit family when the holidays are around. So it's been quite great for me.
That's awesome, Colin. Why don't you guys go ahead
All
and say a
right.
question,
All right.
2024 in review?
Take it away, honey.
No. We'll go backwards.
Okay.
Your turn.
So came back from overseas late in 23, so it's really started 2024 here, brand new, down at the military base in MacDill, and it has been a challenging year ever since. I don't like my job. Most of my coworkers need a lot of personal improvement. They're good people,
Diplomatic.
but yeah,
The eye of power.
they need the eye of power. They need something.
Absolutely.
But
Need some guidance.
yeah, been supporting you, been supporting myself, been going broke slowly but surely, but we're making it, and I will be looking forward for 2025. I am definitely looking forward to meeting myself when I get out of the military. Who knows who's going to come out the other end of that?
Who knows?
Who knows? I'm looking forward to, moving in with you, being an actual husband, and some positive cash flow. Be very nice.
Yeah. Our 2024, we've spent a lot of 2024 apart, but closer than we have been for the last
We
5 years.
spent it more together than
But-
any other year.
I was trying to think of, big events. We traveled home for Colin's wedding, and I got to be a bridesmaid in Colin's wedding, which was wonderful. Yeah, I think 2024 has been a year of vet school for me. I mean, I finished my first year of vet school at the beginning of 2024, and that was a challenge of adjusting to being in vet school and trying to get through all of my classes. And then summer was a big challenge for me this year. I had the opportunity to learn a lot and learn what not to do at the clinic that I worked at this summer. It was a challenge to try and find the good within the negative when it came to working at a clinic that had outdated medical practices, and I didn't necessarily agree with the treatment plans for patients. Because I'm learning the most up-to-date and brand new medicine right out on the front, being at University of Florida, but they have training from 30 years ago that they're still using to treat their patients.
Trying
So
to use to try to treat their patients.
It was an interesting dichotomy, to say the least. I focused on client communication and education, and I kind of changed how I spoke to people. So that was a good thing for 2024. I learned how to better communicate with clients about their animals, and then I went into my second year of vet school, and that has been quite an interesting semester, to say the least. Between 2 hurricanes while trying to do school and the election this year, it's been an interesting first semester of second year. For 2025, I'm looking forward to starting surgery. I start doing surgery next semester. I'm very excited for that. I get my white coat at the end of next semester, and I go into clinics. So I'm looking forward to whatever clinical rotations hold for me in 2025.
I'm looking forward to coming down in May for that white coat ceremony. That's going to be a lot of people coming down for that. That's going to be awesome. The year 2024 for me marks a few major things. It was the year that the Eye of Power was born. Obviously, Colin and Taylor's wedding was all these were all highlights that were shared so far. But the Eye of Power being officially born started as a company. Brought in my wife Kathleen as the CFO of the company. The chief technical officer you've met before on the podcast is my brother Greg. And so this might sound a little nepotistic, but if I was trying to start a company and I could choose anybody that I've ever met that I'd want to have as founding, I can't think of anybody else I would be more excited about as members of the team. So very happy about how the Eye of Power has been forming and going along. People ask me how it's going, and I say at this point in time, I feel like I'm equally frustrated and excited. I'm excited about how the future holds and what's ahead in 2025, and I'm frustrated because it's a learning curve, and we're running pilot programs, and we're learning a bunch of stuff. And one of the things I've been learning in 2024 is things go slower than you'd prefer, and things are always more complicated than you might anticipate. And with the Eye of Power as a protocol, I've been in the development field for over 2 decades now, and you kind of forget what the beginning's like. You kind of forget, you almost forget what the first steps are. So I always think of the concept of swimming. In the beginning, I was kind of asking people to just jump into the pool, the deep end of the pool, and just start swimming around. And I learned that that's really not what the world is. Some people have never even been in a pool before. And so we've got to start with getting your face in the water and maybe doggy paddling around and maybe even getting your toes in the water. And when it comes to development in teams, that what I mean there is the willingness to, well, first of all, the desire, number one, the desire to actually work on yourself and be better tomorrow than you are today. That is not a universal. A lot of us are not in that spot because we feel like emotionally, whether it's conscious or not, we feel like we're in protection mode. We feel like we're in healing mode. We feel like if I expose myself at all, the cost of that is not worth the risk. So, and this is true on most teams. There's going to be people that feel like this. They might not even know they feel like this. And so what do? Well, what I've really learned over 2024 is a reinforcement of something I've seen over my entire career, which is the importance of leadership. Leadership is literally everything. If you have leaders and mentors and people that have great expectations of you and are willing to put their arms around you and root for the real person you, not their agenda for you, but what is best for you given your unique gifts and your unique attributes, your chances of success are way, way higher. And if you don't have that, it can be a long slog. It can be trouble. And I say this often in the Eye of Power community. The 21st century is exciting because it's going to be the century of the human. It's going to be the century of development, of being the authentic person that you're born to be. And organizations are going to have to get with this program. No matter what your organizing principle, no matter what business you're in, no matter what your service is, no matter what your, the values that you have on the wall, it's going to require development and growth. You're in the people development business no matter what you're doing. And so something like what we're trying to create with the Eye of Power, where the curriculum is not teaching you what you don't know so much as it is inspiring you to do what you otherwise would not do, because we really learn through our actions. And so that's one of the lessons I've taken away from, one of the big lessons I've taken away from my experience in 2024. On a personal side, you've heard some of the things from my kids and what I shared about the Eye of Power. One of the things with them being in Florida and Pittsburgh is now Kathleen and I are empty nesters. And so we've been facing, okay, what's our life going to be now that it's not so centered around the welfare of our kids? And what we decided is we wanted to be experiencing the world more than we have before, traveling. So I purposely moved the business towards being untethered by having to be at a place physically, so that we can be able to just spend extended time, whether it be in Florida or Pittsburgh, but in Europe or there's lots of places we want to go, Savannah or the West Coast or all kinds of areas. So we've started in on that a little bit. We spent, it was probably 2 weeks, close to 2 weeks. We were in Europe in the summer, and that was kind of the beginning journey of that particular phase of our lives. We expect to do more of that. I'm going to be doing another one of the Cruise to the Edges. It's progressive rock. For those of you out there that listen to progressive rock, this is like a dream come true, where you get to be with and hear bands all day from some of the best musicians in the world, and not only get to hear them in concert, but also get a chance to talk with them and get to hear their stories. And for somebody like myself, that's a peak experience. So I'm looking forward to that in April, and things like that. So 2025, and again, getting out of the piloting phase and the beta phase of Eye of Power and getting into actual deep dive transformations of organizations that allow leaders to be able to really move the needle on how the team functions, to start building cultures of merit, based on merit, and that are really based on respect and trust, and start getting away from the fear-based or political-based sort of things of people not being honest with themselves and others, not being open because they are afraid of consequences of sharing information. These are things that kill, or at least harm, almost every organization. And so what I hope to do is really help people and leaders move the needle on that, and starting really in earnest in 2025. So be interested in hearing what your 2024 was like and what you're looking forward to in 2025. We'll let that jet go by. So if you're so inclined, please do reach out to me and share, and we can start a conversation about that, and perhaps I can be of a little bit of service to you in some way, fashion, or form to help you realize all you can be in the new year. So it's exciting times, lots of change. The year will be what you make it, and our wish for you for the coming year, for the Christmas holiday, is that you make it the best for you and yours that you possibly can. Merry Christmas, everybody.
Merry Christmas.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
This has been the Eye of Power podcast with Tom Dardick. I'd like to thank you for listening. I'd also like to thank my brother, Scott Dardick, for the music and his music production. If you'd like to reach me, simply email Tom at dardickcommunications.com.